Man, tough loss. Jays lose 4-3 to the Red Sox in Boston. Would have loved to have that game. It's not often you get a chance to take 3 or 4 against the Red Sox in Fenway, and the Jays had that chance today. It would have been a huge win if they were able to get it done. It's not the end of the world that they didn't get it done, but especially against a division rival like that, you'd love to have this game. Like, would really love to sweep a division rival in a 4-game series, especially a team like the Red Sox, a good team that's going to be there at the end of the year. That lineup is terrifying, man. Like they Jays held them in check all series, all 4 games, but they were still scary. Like watching Duran, Devers, Bregman, Cassis come up. I feel like those dudes are always hitting. Like I don't understand how they hit so often in a game. Like scary lineup. Red Sox are a good team, and you would have loved to see the Jays sneak out this sweep. It is what it is. We're not going to wallow in our misery about it. The Jays will have another crack at the Red Sox later this year. I guess we'll start with Chris Bassett. So 5 2/3, really good again. Gave up just the one earned run. Ran into a little bit of trouble third time through, like top of the lineup got to him. Gave up an earned run on a Casas single and didn't make it through the 6th. Left a little bit of a jam for Chad Green to clean up. And Green did, man. Green looked really good today. His fastball, it's not lighting up the radar gun. He's not 97, 98 anymore. But his 95, 96, even like the 94s, like he gets some funky swings on. He's blowing it by guys, and you love to see it. He looked really good today. But Jays are down 1-0 heading into the 7th inning. And this is like the kind of thing last year and in 2023, we would have seen the Jays kind of roll over. Maybe they would have given up another run, like in the Chad Green spot there. The reliever who comes in to clean up the mess maybe would have conceded one more, and it would have been 2-0 instead of 1-0. Or the Jays wouldn't really fight back, and the offense would be done, and they lose 1-0. Right, but that's not what we saw today, and it was honestly really encouraging to see. Top 7 comes around, and Will Wagner starts off with a walk. Professional at bat, worked the count against Walker Buehler, who was also great today, and made it pretty deep into this game. Oh, obviously working into the 7th, got through 6th. So Will Wagner starts it off with a walk. Ernie Clement with a flyout. So not a huge threat going on here. But Justin Wilson comes into the game. Alex Cora opts for the lefty to face Alan Rodent with Will Wagner on base, which I thought was interesting considering how right-handed heavy the Blue Jays bench was today, obviously with Vlad getting the half day off, or at least not starting. So we're thinking, like, is it going to be Vlad here, runner on base, like winning run at the plate kind of thing? It's a little early in the 7th inning, but down a run, like, need to have a little bit of urgency. Maybe it's going to be Davis Schneider against the lefty. If Davis Schneider's not going to hit lefties, he's not going to be on this team much longer, so would have been a good spot to use him. But no, Schneider goes to Miles Straw, which I don't love, but listen, Straw's off to a great start this year, and like power to him because he hit a line drive single pretty much immediately into left field. So it's first and second and 1 out. And then Tyler Heineman comes to the plate. So we're kind of like switch hitter. So obviously he could hit right-handed, but we're kind of thinking, okay, now it's going to be Vlad or Schneider. Well, no, I was thinking now it's going to be Vlad. So that's not what John Schneider does. I'm pulling my hair out on the couch. And Tyler Heineman comes up and drills is a single, but drills it off the monster, catching Will Wagner from second base. Huge swing. This was the Tyler Heineman game. Amazing game from Tyler Heineman, honestly. Both sides of the ball, except for the one thing that we'll get to. But both sides of the ball, he was really good. Threw out 2 base runners, including Jarren Duran and extras, which is not an easy thing to do. Jarren Duran is not an easy guy to throw out. That guy can fly, man. And he gets crazy jumps. Heineman got him today. It was really encouraging to see, and especially the way he's been swinging it. I think they said he was 9 for 18 at some point on the broadcast today. 9 for 18 on the season. That's pretty good. Is that good? I'm here to tell you yes. So Jay's side of the game, man. Will Wagner comes in on the Heineman RBI single, and here comes Vlad to replace Lucas. So we've got some. We're kind of cooking with fire here. Vlad doesn't do any damage, but hits into a nice little fielder's choice ground out to second base. Runs out the double, or well, beats out the double play, and Jays have a chance to win it. And you feel pretty good about it with the way the bullpen's been. You feel pretty good going into, well, needing 9 outs from your bullpen with a 2-1 lead. You don't love it in Fenway. Obviously, we know Fenway's a little bit of a house of horrors for this kind of thing, and it reared its ugly head today. But you do feel pretty good about it, knowing how the bullpen has been. You do feel like quite good about the bullpen. And here's the thing: I know we talked about it last time I did one of these little react videos. Um, you're going to need outs from Brendan Little. He's the lefty in the pen, man. Like, they obviously don't love Fluharty. I don't either. But I'm not sure I love Little either, to be honest with you. He's the option in bottom 8. Little comes in. So he's got 9-1-2. So it's Ref Snyder, who I believe was a pinch hitter. It's Ref Snyder, Duran, Devers, and Little runs into a little bit of trouble, right? Like, it happens. He gets Ref Snyder to hit a ground ball at third base and got Wagner on kind of an in-between hop. Definitely an E5, and the ball sneaks into left field and gets by Wagner. A play that has to be made, especially in the 8th inning in a big game like this. Frustrating play for sure. But then Little's walking Duran. Not really, didn't really seem to have a chance against Duran. And then we got runners on first and second and nobody out in a 1-run game. In a game you have a 1-run lead. Luckily, Little does strike out Devers. So a little bit of saving grace. Didn't love what I saw from him again today. Obviously, only recording 1 out against 3 hitters and having to be pulled is not what you want from, and I know Little's not a setup man. Like, Jimmy Garcia is the setup man, but on a day when Jeff Hoffman is down, like today, you need Little to be able to get through an inning and face righties and actually face lefties, right? Because, and again, it's a different inning if Wagner makes the play, but he doesn't make the play, and then we're like, okay, how many more batters does Little have to face so we can get Jimmy Garcia into the game, right? It's not what you want from your setup man, your guy who's starting the 8th inning. Is unfortunate, right? All of this, and the Jays still have a chance to get out of the inning with the lead because Yimi comes into the game with 1 out, and runners on first and third, and immediately gets a ground ball, another ground ball to Will Wagner, which he has a little bit of trouble with. He couldn't really quite get it out of his glove, obviously fast enough to turn the double play to get Bregman at first base. So they record the out at second, and the throw from Andres Jimenez is just a little bit short. Vlad thought they got him at first. In live time, I'm like, they got him. They didn't get him. Bregman beat it by a step. And if Wagner gets it out of the glove just like a tad quicker, they're out of the inning with the lead, with the 2-1 lead heading to the 9th. But they don't. So it's runners on first and third with 2 out now. They trade the runner at second. And it was just the most unfortunate play. So it's Garcia facing Casas, Tristan Casas again. And Garcia starts him with a slider. Not the pitch I love to see. Garcia starts him with a slider that bounces in between Casas's legs. On the broadcast, it looked like it hit his foot. Heineman thought it hit his foot. Garcia thought it hit his foot. The Blue Jays challenged, and it did not hit his foot. So the ball bounces between his legs, and it gets lost. Heineman has no idea where it is. Nobody's yelling at him. Like, if you're Vlad on first base or if you're Garcia on the mound, you're supposed to be pointing and yelling at the ball. First base dugout, first base dugout, first base dugout, or feet, or wherever the ball is. You got to be pointing and screaming where it is. Heineman has no clue where it is and can't jump on the ball, and the run ends up coming in from third. Honestly, just such an unfortunate way for a game to get tied up. Just such an unfortunate game for or an unfortunate way for the game to get tied up. You just hate to see it happen like that, and that's so Fenway for you. Like that's like, well, I guess that's the kind of thing that would happen in Tampa, but it's such a Fenway Park thing to happen. It's just, yeah, it's unfortunate. There's not much you can do about it. Like, I guess you ask for, well, first and foremost, you ask for Jimmy to make a better pitch and not spike his curveball. I think Jimmy doesn't love pitching in the cold. I really don't think yeah, his fastball hasn't been as hot. He's been like 94, 95. We have not seen the 96, 97, 98, like 99 that we were seeing from him at the beginning of last year. And yeah, he's pitched a lot in the cold so far. Like Queens, it looked pretty chilly there, and Fenway looked chilly all week this week. So I'm not concerned about Jimmy's stuff, but yeah, I think he's a guy that doesn't quite. Well, he's a warm weather guy. I think he's going to benefit from a little bit of warm weather, and well, not warm, but warmer weather in Baltimore this weekend. So it's unfortunate, but the Jays, they escape. Jimmy does get Cassis to fly out to end the inning. So 2-2 heading in the ninth. Neither team like scratches a run across. Both teams had leadoff singles and couldn't get anything, which kind of summed up the series. Both these offenses looked kind of pathetic, especially the last 2 days. Yeah, no power from either team. Neither team can hit home runs, but Jays force extras and they score. The Jays get the 1 run. You would with what was it? I think it was 3, 4, 5. It was Tony leading off the inning with Jimenez on second base. So yeah, 3, 4, 5, and this is the kind of point where you're like, all right, it's time for Tony Taters to maybe do some damage. I'm not asking you to hit a home run, man. You just need the 1 run, but well, you'd prefer more than 1 run, but we gotta start with this 1 run. How about a double off the monster or something like that, right? Couldn't get it done. Hits a little dribbler. Jimenez moves to third, and Santander's thrown out at first. So not the result you want or you're necessarily hoping for, but good enough. Advances the runner, and next hitter, George Springer, your 4-hitter, hits a line drive to the outfield and cashes the run. Okay, it's all the Jays get in the 10th, but they only got 1 in the 10th yesterday, and Nick Sandlin was able to hold on and win the game. This time was a little bit different. Okay, so Jays up 3-2, heading to bottom 10, and Nick Sandlin comes out of the pen to do it again. This time, Jarren Duran immediately singles to tie the game, sneaks it past Jimenez and Bo up the middle. Unfortunate. This was kind of interesting. Sandlin picked him off twice before throwing a pitch. Threw over to first, stepped off and picked off twice before throwing a pitch to Devers. And I thought that was really peculiar. I haven't really seen that a lot since the 2 pickoff rule came into play a couple of years ago. Not a lot of times pitchers use their second pickoff, and if they do, that runner's obviously immediately running. So for Sandlin to use both of them right away, I thought was pretty interesting. So we know Duran is running. The whole ballpark knows it. The broadcast knows it. I know it. You know it. Your mom knows it. So Sandlin pitches out. Pitches out high and away into the right-hander's batter's box against Devers, and Duran doesn't run. So I'm like, why not pick him off again? Because he's definitely running this time. I was like screaming at the TV. I was like, pick him off, because if either way he gets second base. But that's not what happens. Sandlin throws a pitch in the zone, a breaking ball, just 78 miles an hour, and Heineman throws out Duran, the runner, who was stealing on the pitch. A great game from Heineman on both sides of the ball. I already talked about it, but you do love to see that kind of thing. Like he is everything you asked for and more. Definitely replacing the hole left by Jano and what Jano was doing last year. Obviously, early in the season, am I expecting Heineman to hit 500 for the rest of the season? Absolutely not. Am I expecting him to throw out another runner? Well, yes, but am I expecting him to have the kind of defensive game he had today every time out? No. Right? So he's been really good. He's definitely been a bright spot for this team. And he was a bright spot today. I blue skied it. I was like, this is the Tyler Heineman game. great stuff from him. Okay. Red Sox, they end up loading the bases against Sandlin. Sandlin didn't look great today, like maybe a little bit tired, kind of got nickel and dime. Didn't give up any like crazy hard contact or anything, but wasn't great. And Trevor Story ends up hitting a little dribbler at the at Andres Jimenez that he can't make the play on. It's unfortunate. Like we want to be mad, not mad, but once after you lose a game, you want to be frustrated at something. It's hard to be upset at your platinum glover that can't make a play on that ball. Even if Jimenez comes up with it cleanly, it's probably not throwing him out at the plate. Or if he is, it's going to be super close. And then Sandlin has to get another guy. And then the Jays have to come out and score and get another stop. And like literally the only thing left in the pen was like Jacob Barnes and Fluharty. With Hoffman down. So it's an unfortunate game. If Hoffman didn't pitch yesterday or do up downs yesterday and all that, he's probably in the game and Jays probably hold on and win this. But that's why it's so hard to sweep series, right? It's because you needed them yesterday. You needed everything Hoffman gave you yesterday to win that game, and then he's not available to help you win this game. So sweeping series is hard. And we're not going to melt down over this. Not sure the result of the Yankees game I don't even think the Yankees played. So I think the Jays are going to be tied for first in the East on April 10th. So doesn't matter, but every win does count. And we're happy with how the Jays have started so far. I'm going to do 1 minute. I'm going to do 1 minute on umpires. That was terrible. Oh my goodness. I'm not going to hit you with the Will Lou, say their names, but the zone got huge for Boston Red Sox pitchers. Like there was a Davis Schneider at bat that he did not swing the bat, did not see a pitch in the zone, but it took him 6 pitches to walk. There was calls against Springer. There was a call. I think there was a call against Vlad. There was like on the offensive side of the ball, there were so many calls that went against the Jays. And on the defensive side of the ball, like the Jays pitchers got jobbed even worse. Like the fact that Pete Walker and or John Schneider didn't get thrown out of this game is a miracle. Obviously, they're on something new this season. Like they found God or something because I'm yelling at the TV like every time that a ball nicks the strike zone and the Jays don't get the call. But it was a frustrating one to watch. Yeah. The umpiring was not great tonight. We'll move on from there. Jays are heading to Baltimore for a 3-game series over the weekend before coming home to face the Braves starting on Monday. And we're all going to go to the Dome and give Vlad a standing ovation. And that's the last thing I want to finish on. I didn't get to write about it yet. I'm not sure I will get the chance to write about it. It's been busy wrapping up the semester, obviously at university. But I do want to talk about Vlad. How amazing is it that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is going to get to be a Blue Jay for life? It's amazing. He started here when he was a 16-year-old kid, and he's going to leave here when he's 40. If he ever leaves, like maybe he's a coach someday. We're not going to think about 2039 because that's terrifying. I do not want to think about being 35, 36 years old. Anyways, I'll leave you with this. There are 2 things that matter in professional sports. Losers will tell you that there's one thing that matters in professional sports. They'll tell you it's championships. And they are right. They do matter. And that's the most important thing. But the second most important thing in professional sports is history. You don't play 162 regular season games and not win the World Series and say, oh, that season was for nothing. Okay? You don't pay players millions of dollars, and if you don't win a World Series with them, you didn't waste that money. Building a legacy and franchise, not value, but franchise legacy is just as valuable to, not just as valuable to me as winning a World Series. It'll be the greatest day of my life when the Blue Jays win a World Series. But having a player like Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who's going to spend his whole career here, is on pace to be in the Hall of Fame, could very likely end up a Hall of Famer, and will almost 100% have his number hanging beside Roy Halladay's in center field with a banner. That means a lot. The eventual statue, 25, 30 years from now, that means a lot. Having franchise history is just as important as winning championships. The Jays have been a franchise for coming on 50 years now. And I haven't been around for very long of that. But the fact that there's only one number retired for the franchise that's 50 years old kind of says a lot, man. Like, this is not a franchise that's had a lot of guys, well, had very many guys at all be lifers, and especially none of Vlad's quality. And it means a lot. This is an important thing to get done. The money is the money. $500 million is a lot of money for a first baseman. But he's our first baseman, and now we don't have to think about it anymore because Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is going to be here. Talk to you next time. Jays lose 4-3 in extras, but they've got Baltimore this weekend, and I'm feeling good about that.